Okay, I am just going to make sure all of this is working real quick on my end, and then we'll get rolling with a bit of a live weather update here. Just going to go ahead and double check the audio, and we'll get rolling. All right, I see some of you guys hopping on. Looks like the audio is working. Cool, cool, cool. All right, good evening, everyone. We're just about to do a little bit of a live weather update tonight. Facebook resolved their live streaming issue. I'm not quite sure what that was all about, but they solved it. Currently, we're looking at some of the snowfall on the radar over east of the Cascades, over by Spokane. And by the way, we are also live over on YouTube at the same time. I figured out how to do that, so that's pretty cool and exciting. So if you'd rather watch over on YouTube, you can hop over to YouTube and watch there. So currently we're looking at the radar over in Spokane, and it's coming down pretty good. Snow over there. It's below freezing east of the Cascades. Looking at the radar over here by Camino, we can see that there's some showers moving in. It's falling in the form of snow up in the foothills, rain in the I-5 corridor. And out on the coast, we got some showers coming in, some pretty decently heavy showers coming in down by Long Beach, Ocean Park, Raymond. And I also like to take a look at this radar KASAG up by the Whatcom County Canadian border, and it looks like some showers just moved through a short time ago, but nothing too crazy. Looking at satellite imagery here, we can see the next system moving down, beginning to form the surface low. We can see this system currently moving through the area here. Looking at current conditions in Washington State, you can see that this map always freaks out right when I go live. We can see that temperatures are generally in the mid 30s to low 40s in western Washington. And then east of the Cascades, we have temperatures in the 20s and 30s. And we also have a winter storm watch up for portions of the north and central Cascades, generally the east slopes, up towards Stevens Pass as well. And places like Winthrop, Wenatchee, Leavenworth are all under that winter storm watch. Thanks for the stars if you sent those over. And then also, one second, I'm going to check one more thing here. Make sure the live stream is going good on YouTube. Looks like it is going pretty good over there. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Okay. And then, so yeah, we have some winter weather advisories up in eastern Washington as well, also for the mountains, and a winter storm warning for the South Cascades. Looking at this next system coming in, you can see it right here, up in the Gulf of Alaska. It starts up by the Aleutians, and it's swooping down towards the southeast, coming right off towards the Washington coast, and it's going to get kind of hung up by Vancouver Island there. Yeah, but as it does that, it's going to swoop a cold front over the area and bring a bunch of renewed snow to the mountains, also east of the Cascades, and it might bring some snowflakes to places west of the Cascades as well. And it's also going to bring some pretty breezy conditions to the area too. This is looking at the 24-hour precipitation for Friday into Saturday's system. According to the European model, it looks like it's going to bring over an inch of rain to the coast. And then places like up and down the I-5 corridor, Seattle, maybe up towards an inch, maybe just a little bit less. Everett, half of an inch. Bellingham, less, maybe around 0.2 inches. And then plenty of precipitation for the mountains as well. And then this is the 24-hour snow totals for the mountains for this storm and eastern Washington on the European. Plenty of snow. Probably around a foot of snow for places like Snoqualmie Pass, maybe a little bit more for places like Stevens. But then even places like Leavenworth and Wenatchee and Waterville and Chelan, Winthrop, areas like that can get plenty of snow out of this next storm. And over by Spokane, probably get a few inches of snow out of this as well. Looking at the UW GFS, this is looking through 7 a.m. tomorrow morning to give you an idea of how much snow is going to fall total for the rest of this storm. It shows maybe anywhere around 3 inches of snow, 4 inches of snow falling out by Spokane once this current snow that's falling. You can see in the bottom right hand corner, which I'm actually going to move that radar back over towards Spokane so you can see that. That should be better. So yeah, once this snowfall tonight is finished up in Spokane, there should at least be 3 to 4 inches of snow out there. And then for the next system that's going to come in, this is the 24-hour total through 10 p.m. on Saturday. Plenty of snow for the mountains. Looks like at least 8 inches to a foot up by Stevens Pass. Similar for Snoqualmie. And places like North Bend will probably also end up getting some snow out of this. And there might even be some snow in places like Skykomish, Index. This morning, one of my followers on the Facebook page said that there was some snow falling in Gold Bar. And it also shows a bit of a dusting in some of the higher terrain of Snohomish County, southwest Whatcom County, northwest Skagit County, and over on the Kitsap Peninsula again. Places like Seebeck get a few inches of snow. And then along the Hood Canal also brings maybe a couple inches of snow right near the water, but then you just go up a little bit in elevation over there and you get some more snow there as well. But we'll just have to see how that plays out. I'm not totally confident in just how many snowflakes we're going to see anywhere along the I-5 corridor or the Puget Sound, but the UWGFS shows a little bit, so we'll just have to see. And then for this Friday into Saturday storm, this is looking at the 24-hour snow totals for out east of the Cascades. So another renewed shot of snow for out there. Should be pretty good. Looking at the winter storm watches up by the National Weather Service out in Spokane. This is for Okanagan, Chelan, Entiat, Omak, Oroville, Mansfield, Waterville, Dussault, Pass, Nispelem, Badger Mountain Road, Kashmir, Wenatchee, Brewster, Bridgeport, and Pangbourne Airport. Anywhere up to 6 to 10 inches possible in areas like that. And this goes into effect Friday afternoon through Saturday evening. And then they have another one up. Winter Storm Watch remains in effect from Friday evening through Saturday night. And this is for Boulder Creek, Wakanda, Republic, Chesaw Road, Ichilium, Highway 20, Wakanda Summit, and Sherman Pass. And up in that higher terrain there, expecting anywhere from 6 to 10 inches with that winter storm watch. Looking at the NAM 3KM here, you can see today's and tonight's system move out of the area by about midnight in Spokane, and then showers tomorrow, and then by tomorrow afternoon the next system starts to move in. Plenty of snow for the mountains tomorrow night. And then snow continues. It'll start out in Spokane tomorrow night as well, then continue through the early morning hours and be showery in nature throughout most of the morning on Saturday, and then clear up for the most part by evening. And in terms of snow totals on the NAM 3KM, we'll take a quick look at that. This will be taking into account today's snowfall as well, but a good amount of renewed snow for the mountains, the northern parts of north central and northeast Washington. Not bad. Then taking a quick look at the winds for Friday's system. You can see the time right here in the upper left-hand corner. You can see that the winds are going to pick up out on the coast in the evening, maybe gusts up to 50 miles per hour out there. Winds will pick up along the Strait of Ontefuca. This will be going out towards the west, easterly wind. Places like Nia Bay could get some decently strong wind out of that. And then there's also going to be some decently strong winds coming out of the Cascade Gaps, like the Stampede Gap, I-90, Highway 2, places like Snoqualmie, North Bend. We'll probably feel some gusts with this Sultan Index. Nothing too severe though, but feel free to let us know if the wind ends up getting stronger. And then looking at the 6 to 10 day weather outlook, we can see that the National Weather Service, the Climate Prediction Center has increased confidence that there's going to be below normal temperatures between December 14th and December 18th. That's looking out there a ways. We're already below normal. We've already been below normal for a while. But one thing that has changed is we are now looking like we're going to get below normal precipitation for that period. It's looking a bit drier. It looks like there's going to be some blocking setting up nearby. And it's going to kind of divert that jet stream away from us and up north and back towards us. So we are just going to have to see exactly what ends up happening with that per se. And then looking a little bit further out, this is looking at December 16th through 22nd. Below normal temperatures expected for that time period as well, and then also below normal precipitation for that as well. But it's not like it might not be completely dry the whole time. We might be able to get some shots of precipitation in here depending on how the jet stream actually behaves. Looking at the European ensemble data here, you can see the signal. So there's this next trough that's going to move through Friday, Saturday. We'll kind of be in it a little bit on Sunday as well. And then some ridging kind of moves over the area. And then there's like this monster blocking pattern that sets up over the high latitudes of Canada and whatnot. But it's going to be forcing some of the jet stream up and over. And just depending on how this behaves, we could end up getting pretty dang cold. This is looking at the 850 millibar temperature anomaly for the European ensemble data. You can see this next system move through right there. This is looking at Saturday morning. You can see the low right there, spinning some colder air over the Pacific Ocean back towards Washington State, kind of. Some cooler air coming down in BC. And then, as we go through time, it kind of keeps this cold signal nearby. Some people call this backdoor cold, just kind of filtering into eastern Washington, depending on how much of this establishes over there. And then you see, as we go even further into the ensemble data, it builds up even more in places like southwest British Columbia. So whether or not this is just going to be cold and dry, or if there'll be some moisture to interact with it eventually, we're not totally sure in that regard, and we're not even totally sure just how cold it's going to get. The GEFS is kind of showing a similar look. Looking at the cold signal here, you can see how it shows this next system right here into the weekend going down, a little bit of cold air coming down to the BC. And the blocking establishes, some cold air builds up east of the Cascades, and then as we go further along towards like December 19th and 20th, it shows a little bit more cold air establishing in places like British Columbia, but just how much is unclear. But that colder than normal signal is there, but it's not incredibly strong just yet. But if we look at the European ensemble data for what it's expecting for temperatures over in Spokane, you can see that cold signal. It really comes into play around December 14th, December 20th. It's already cold over there. There's only one day that's expected to be above freezing on Saturday. And then Monday, some colder air starts filtering into the region with a high of 29, 20. And then it has it dropping off. Now, something we got to be aware of and think about when we look at these kind of things is models. They can oftentimes show these colder signals and then take them away. They can kind of pull the rug out from underneath us, and it'll still get cooler, but not quite as cold. Looking at a couple other locations, we can take a look at Payne Field and Everett. This is the 18Z. Go back to the 12Z ensemble data. For Everett, it's not quite as severe, obviously, as Spokane. We have the dam of the Cascade Mountains between us and the cold that's going to get into eastern Washington. But you can see kind of a subtle cooling that happens, in the long range, right around December 16th, 17th. It's ways out there. We're just kind of keeping an eye on it at this point. Up in Bellingham, though, you can see a bit more of that signal. And then the place that's possibly really going to feel this, which will affect places like Vancouver, Washington, is down by Portland, Oregon. So let's take a look at that real fast. Going to scroll up to Oregon, scroll past it. There we go. You can see that Portland has a signal for it to get down to the mid 30s at least, with highs or with lows in the 20s. And of course, the GEFS is much colder as it tends to be. It has a cold bias, as many like to call it. Looking at the temperatures there, it's a little bit colder than the European model. It's not that much colder, really. Looking up at Bellingham, go back to Washington State. It's definitely colder up there. And looking over at Spokane, pretty dang chilly. But honestly, that is not too far off from what the European is showing in terms of chilliness. Maybe a little bit colder in some of those lows. Go back to it one more time. Yeah, the European is even colder than the GFS actually at Spokane. So that's saying something right there. Anyways, take a look at that radar one more time with the snow falling in eastern Washington. I kind of wish I was over there right now in Spokane enjoying the snow. Got a bit of a Christmas party I'm hosting tonight at my house, so I cannot be out there enjoying the snow tonight. But I might head out tomorrow into Saturday to go catch some snowflakes. So we will just go ahead and see if that will work out or not. I'm not totally sure if it will. But if it does work out, that's awesome. If it doesn't, that's totally fine with me. So I'm going to take a look at some of your questions here real fast. And yeah, so I'm live on YouTube and Facebook, which is kind of fun. It's kind of a new experience here. All right, I see people are commenting on Facebook, but I don't see all the comments yet. There they are showing up. Awesome. Go ahead and let me know how this stream looked, by the way. This is my first time doing a public live stream to both YouTube and Facebook at the same time on my computer. It seems to be working okay and smoothly, but let me know if it's been laggy at all on your end. All right. Sweet. I see over on YouTube, it's been great. Excellent stream. That's awesome to hear. Diane says that Puget Sound Energy is taking all of their money. Oof. Yeah, with how cold it's been, it's not a hard thing to do. Thanks for the stars, whoever just sent those. Really appreciate it. Yeah, thanks for the stars, Cheryl. Nick Boatger says it is snowing good in Omak. They have at least 2 feet on the ground. Jamie McPherson, thanks for the stars and you're welcome. Probably going to get a little bit more snow out there in Seebeck. All right. Cool, cool, cool. Man, this is sweet. So I just upgraded my internet here at the house. And I've got some pretty stellar internet speeds now. And with the previous internet I had, I was dropping frames like crazy for a little bit there, doing a way less quality stream than I'm doing now. And with this stream, it shows that I've dropped 0 frames, which is very good. Catherine Macy, do I think that South Everett will get any more snow? It is possible, yep. The UW GFS shows possibly a dusting. something I actually forgot to talk about that I wanted to talk about is the UW GFS actually shows a little bit of a dusting. Let's see here. Let's go to the Puget Sound view. Shows a little bit of a dusting for places like the foothills of Snohomish County, possibly tonight. And then tomorrow evening, possibly a dusting for places like South Everett. And out in the Kitsap Peninsula, you could get anywhere from 2 to 5 inches if this UW GFS is correcto mundo. So, yeah. All right, looking back at comments here. Thanks for the stars, Nick. Appreciate that. Kara Noble asks on YouTube, what about Granite Falls? It's so tough to really know exactly what's going to happen with tomorrow in regards to snow. I mean, if anything, it's just going to be a super, super marginal event. Maybe there'll be some snowflakes in the air. Maybe there won't. In terms of accumulation, I doubt really anything will accumulate that much, but I could be wrong. But that's just what my gut feeling is with this. But the UW GFS shows maybe a dusting. Maybe a couple flakes will fall up in Granite Falls tonight, and then maybe a little bit more tomorrow. So we will just have to go ahead and wait and see. Jonathan Poley says, really hoping the cold, but doesn't really hoping the cold but dry doesn't win out because it causes my hands to crack due to dryness. Yeah, it can be pretty brutal. Brenda Johnson says the foothills are getting snow now. Yeah, so the models are already verifying in regards to foothill snow now. So where are you, Brenda, again? Remind me. You can see some of the snow or some of the precipitation moving into western Washington now. Shows maybe North Bend and Tanner getting some snow. Maybe places out there like Index and Bering, Skykomish getting a bit of snow. William asks, what time does that start tomorrow on the peninsula? It'll primarily be the western side of the peninsula, I should clarify. And the UW GFS model has maybe a slight dusting tomorrow morning, and then has it starting out there in the evening, probably around 6 or 7, and then continuing through the night. But we'll see. It could be wrong. Okay. Looking at some more of your comments here. Catherine Macy says, thank you. How are you feeling after being sick a few days ago? Man, I am feeling so good. I was down for the count last week, but I feel tip-top, 100%. Brenda, let's see here. Sorry, I might be spacing on something. Just going to check out something here real quickly. This morning, oh yeah, Brenda. I was talking with you this morning about Goldbar. Yeah, she got some snow at an elevation of 299 feet. Microclimates. Yeah, so microclimate is basically where we have the overall weather pattern, but due to topography and terrain features and things like that, there could be microclimates. So a really common microclimate that we get around here is the Puget Sound Convergence Zone. We also get like the rain shadow because of the Olympics, which can be raining all the way up from Bellingham, Mount Vernon, and out towards Arlington and Monroe, and then Kent. But everything in this little hole right here is not getting rain. That's a bit of a microclimate. There's a bit of a microclimate to the north of Lake Stevens, actually, right here. That happens all the time. And also Arlington gets this too, where there's like dips in the terrain. It's kind of like a bowl in the terrain out here. And when that happens, and we got some cool air around, and we got some clearing, no clouds aloft, and the heat of the day is able to escape, the cold air goes into that bowl and kind of sinks, and it gets colder right there in that bowl. Gosh, why does it do that? It gets colder in that bowl than surrounding areas. So I've had times where at my house here in West Lake Stevens, I'm circling my little spot right now, it'll be like 32 degrees, but then just like 3-4 miles to my northeast here, it'll be like in the mid 20s or low 20s. So that's an example of a microclimate. Okay, looking at your comments now a bit more. Megan Ellis on YouTube asks, what do you think the weekend will look like for Moses Lake? We're getting so much snow. Yeah, I'm going to have to go over and visit Eastern Washington here. The weekend out in Moses Lake should be pretty rowdy in terms of snow. Maybe, let's see. It might be just north of some of the best stuff. Looking at the map here. So Moses Lake, it could get another couple inches of snow, maybe like 3 out of Friday and Saturday's system. And then you guys are going to get cold. You guys are going to get cold next week. Pretty dang cold. All right, folks. Thanks for joining on tonight. Just wanted to test out streaming to... Oh, Jamie has another question here. Can you pull up the Euro for tomorrow, then GFS, please? Yes, of course. Go in the tighter view of the Euro. So the Euro doesn't show too much out there for the Kitsap Peninsula. It shows like a mix starting tomorrow afternoon into the evening and then turning all to rain. So if the Euro wins out, there won't get very much snow out there. It basically shows like a dusting for most of the Kitsap Peninsula with maybe an inch or two in the far west side, and then along the Hood Canal on Highway 101, maybe a couple more inches over there. But then looking at the UW-GFS, which performed pretty well at the last snow event out there. It shows quite a bit more snow, and this is a bit higher resolution too. And it shows for areas near Seebeck getting anywhere from 2 to 6 inches of snow. Gonna go back to the Spokane radar, KOTX. Yeah, thanks for watching over on YouTube. If you're digging this and you'd like to see more of it, go ahead and hit that like button. That also helps me out with the algorithm over there. And if you haven't already subscribed, feel free to do that. And if you're watching on Facebook, thanks for joining on tonight. Go ahead and heart this post if you love snow. Wow this post if you hate snow. And hit that bell at the bottom right-hand corner so you can get notifications for when we go live. And follow the page if you're enjoying this. I am going to go ahead and sign out for the evening, I think. So with that, thanks again, and I will talk to you guys later. Adios.